Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel FE So today, first of all, I would like to thanks to all my subscribers who was here, but I was not posting the videos on my YouTube channel from last couple of months because I was busy on my side projects. So now onwards, I decide to post the videos on my YouTube channel on regular basis because my side projects are over now. So today in this video I'm going to show you how you can develop a read more component in Angular. So the final output will be like this. It is a read more component, and what it does is actually once you have a long text in your component, for example, let's say you have a card layout and you have a long text in your card and you would like to shorten that text. So you can develop a component like this. Once you have a long text in your card, you can shorten that text and add these three dots at the last. And once you expand it, it will show the full text. So we will use this component and we will develop this component right now. So stay tuned for more action. Welcome back guys. To start create a read more component, I have this a blank Angular app running right here. So let me go to my VS Code. So here if you see, I have just a title in this HTML, and in the component file I have this title saying that demo read more component. So to start create a read more component, first of all I have to generate a new component called read more. So I just right click on the app folder and I say generate a read more component, and I type a name of my component here, which is read more. Press enter and confirm. So as you see, the read more component is automatically generated. So let me close this. I go to my read more component and check what has generated. So if I see here, it just has a p tag which says read more component works, and then it generates a read more component .ts file, and it has this spec file. We don't need this file right now, so I just deleted it. So as you see, the read more component has generated and it has automatically added in our app module .ts file. Okay, so in this read more component .ts file, what we need is, first of all, we need a input variable which is called isReadMore, and it will be a boolean. By default it will be initialized as false, and then we have another variable called isCollapsed, and it's a boolean, and then by default it will be true. Let's go to read more component.html and remove this text. We don't need this text right now, and save it. Okay, so in this read more component.html file, let's create our HTML. So first of all, we declare a div, and in this div we have an ng class which will be a conditional class called isCollapsed, and it will be applied when isCollapsed is false, and the collapsed class will be applied when isCollapsed is true. And then we have a normal class called pullLeft, which will be floating our div to left side, and then we have a read more class. So all of these classes we will declare after we create this HTML, and we'll go to the CSS file and we'll declare these classes. So now we have this ng content to placeholder for our content for our read more component, and then after that we'll have an anchor point in which we will use a click method, and there we will say that isCollapsed is equal to is not isCollapsed. So basically it's a toggling method for our read more component while we clicking on the arrow which we showed earlier in the demo. So we have a hidden attribute in this, which will be reading a condition. If the isReadMore the boolean will be true, and then it will be hidden. So and there we will have a pull right class, which is floating our anchor tag to the right side. And then in this we'll have a FontAwesome icons, which is having a icon class called right, chevron right, which is a right arrow. And then this will be having a condition using if, which is saying that is collapsed is true, then show this icon. And then same thing, we'll have another icon class, which will be a chevron down, which is a down arrow. And this will also having if condition, which is if is collapse is false, then we'll show this arrow. And then we will close this anchor tag. And then at the bottom we'll have a class called cb. And then in this cb class, which is in the CSS, we will be declaring this CB class stands for clear both. So we have this floating element of on the left, and then floating element on the right. And then at the bottom we say that okay, clear both sides of the container. So we have completed this HTML. Let's go to the CSS file and declare all these classes which we have used in this HTML. Okay, so in readMore component.css file, since we are using SCSS, so let's declare a CSS variable font size, which will be 100%, and then line height variable, which will be 1.5, and then we have a line to show, which is 1. And then we declare a div class collapsed. And then in this we have a property display, which is having a value WebKit inline box. And then we'll have a display property inline block. And then we'll have a property font size, which is using a font variable from the top. And then we'll have a white space no wrap. And then we'll have a property called overflow, which will be hidden. And then text overflow ellipsis. So this property is when the text we are going to shorten, then there will be a 3 dots on at the end of the text. This property will be used, ellipsis. And then we'll say the width will be 85%. And then we declare a class readMore. And then in this readMore we'll having a property top margin -3 peaks, and then line height 1.4. And then we'll declare a class called isCollapsed. And then in this we'll have a width 85%. And then we'll having a class called cb. And in this class we'll have a property called clear, and then the value will be both. And then the height is 0. This is used for clear the floating element from both sides. And then we'll have a class called pull right, which will having a property called float. The value will be right. And then similarly pull left and float left. So we have already declared our CSS classes. So let's go to the app.component.html and try to use this readMore component in that component. Okay, so in this app.component.ts, let's declare a variable called data, which will be a type string. And then in this string we have some dummy string, which is some dummy text. And then we will declare another variable which will be a type boolean, and by default it will be false. And in ng-on-init we'll have one method called check data length, which will receive a parameter string of this data actually. And now down here let's declare a check data length method, which will receive a parameter data type of string. and then we'll console this data length in the console, and then in this method we will say that is read more getting true when this data length is greater than 16. So, and in this CSS component.css we'll be having a class called card, which will be having a width of 450 pixel, border, padding, and border radius. I'll be using this class in app.component.html. So in this HTML, what we are going to do is, first of all, we will be keeping this h1 tag there, and then we will say div, and in this div we will having a class card, and then in this card we'll be using this read more component basically, and then in this read more component we will be passing is read more input, and this is read more input will be using is read more variable which we have declared in the component file, component app.component.ts, and then we'll binding at data. So we will saving this one. So after completing this app.component.html, let's switch to our CLI and then run this app ng-serve. And let's see what happens to our app is it's saying that the font icon which the FontAwesome icon which we used is not declared in the module, our app.module. So first of all, let's go to our to include that, first we need to include the packages in our package.json. So let's open a package.json file. To use the FontAwesome icons in your Angular app, you need these packages: the FontAwesome /Angular FontAwesome, FontAwesome /FontAwesome SVG core package, and then FontAwesome /free solid SVG icons. So once you include these icons, you have to run npmi, and after that you have to go to the you have to go to the app.module file. In the app.module.ts file, let's import the installed packages, which is the first one will be the FontAwesome module from a FontAwesome Angular FontAwesome package, and then import library from FontAwesome SVG core, and then import the FA chevron right and FA chevron down icon from free solid SVG icons package, and then add this icon in that library.add method. First one will be chevron right, and then the second one will be chevron down, and then import this FontAwesome module under the import array. And since this one is already completed, let's go to the CLI and try to run this app, and type the ng-serve here. So it's finished. Now go to the browser, and since it's automatically refreshed, and we see the our component is working fine as expected. And if we see the console, the string length which we console is 110. Let's test this string to reduce and see the result. Let's go to the app.component.ts file, and let's remove this string a little bit shorter, and it's auto save, and come here, and you see that since the string length is 58, the expand collapse icon has been gone. So this is what we were expecting, and we will come back here, just press Ctrl Z, and then it's coming back and it's working fine. So that's it for the tutorial. Please do let me know your opinion by commenting below of this video. I will post the GitHub URL for this component repository. You can easily find out there. And if you like this video, please don't forget to share, subscribe, and like, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.